The Silk Road, recording the journey. The heavenly horses are coming across the pastureless wilds, 1,000 legs at a stretch, following the Eastern Road. This poem was written by Han Emperor Wu Ti in 140 BC. He wrote as he waited for the arrival of new horses on the Silk Road. When you sit down to a bowl of spaghetti at home or a math problem in school, you probably aren't thinking about history. Yet, it is a fact that noodles from China and a number system from Persia and India made their way into the European world along ancient trade routes called the Silk Road. The Silk Road was actually a series of roads and routes that together made up a huge trade network. It stretched from China to Rome, with many side branches leading to the north and the south. The Silk Road began as far back as 4,000 years ago and got its name from the luxurious, brightly colored cloth that was China's biggest export. The Silk Road owes an important part of its success to the domestication of the camel, an animal that could carry heavy loads over long distances and required little water while doing so. Camels were the fuel efficient minivans of the ancient world. As is true with international trade today, politics made business on the Silk Road difficult and often dangerous. Caravans had to travel through many kingdoms and city states that fought each other. When conflict broke out, trade was interrupted. Between about 200 BCE and 250 CE, the growth of four stable empires helped ease this problem and keep the Silk Road humming. The empires were the Han, the Kushan, the Parthian, and the Roman. From 202 BCE to 220 CE, the Han dynasty ruled over China. The Han were especially eager to trade silk for magnificent horses from Fergana in Central Asia. To protect this trade, the Han cracked down on bandits who preyed on Silk Road travelers. Starting in 50 CE, another Asian empire took shape and began profiting from the Silk Road. This was the Kushan Empire, which stretched from western China into northern India. The Kushans established themselves as a kind of toll booth and collected taxes on goods moving back and forth between China and points west. Beyond Kush was the powerful empire of Parthia, which covered much of modern day Iran and Iraq. The Parthians became skilled middlemen, buying up goods flowing into their country and reselling them at a higher price to traders who carried them further along the Silk Road. Meanwhile, the Roman Empire had come to dominate the West, eventually controlling much of the land that rimmed the Mediterranean Sea. As the empire got richer, Romans demanded more and more luxury goods, especially that wonderful Chinese fabric, silk. In time, these four empires collapsed, but for hundreds of years the Silk Road continued on without them. Then, around 1400 CE, exploration and new sea routes brought an end to much of the overland